Anxiety is an emotion that can cause a vicious circle to unfold and lead us to be very limited in our life. What is most challenging about anxiety is the physical aspect of it, such as increased heart rate, rapid breathing, because it can lead to unwanted states like restlessness, trouble concentrating, and difficulty falling asleep. In some worst-case scenarios, the individual can also experience an anxiety attack, where the symptoms become more intense, like fainting, dizziness, incapacity to breathe, distress, fear, and numbness. Since anxiety can be a huge limitation in your daily life, it is understandable that you try to find ways to master it and get back with everyday life. The key to master your anxiety is to prevent the downward spiral from happening and apply the secret: mindfulness. Mindfulness is a well-researched field and has been proven to be a great ally when one wants to master his or her anxiety or unwanted emotions in general. As mentioned on anxiety.org, mindfulness teaches us how to respond to stress with an awareness of what is happening in the present moment, rather than simply acting instinctively, unaware of what emotions or motives may be driving that decision. By being mindful, you quickly catch yourself when you feel anxiety creeping up. The key is to catch yourself quickly by being aware or conscious and shift your mind so that you don't give too much energy to the situation you are experiencing. Here's a straightforward exercise you can try right now. Sit down with one hand to your heart. Focus on taking 3 deep breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Every time, imagine that you are filling your lungs completely and then emptying them. When you catch yourself feeling a tiny bit of discomfort that often leads to full-on anxiety, take a moment to sit down and set the intention to feel calm. Place one hand to your heart with the intention in mind. Take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Every time, imagine that you are filling your lungs with peace and then releasing the tension in your body with the expiration. Once you've repeated that breathing 3 times, ask yourself how you feel. If you feel good again, go on with your day. Otherwise, sit a bit longer and practice that peaceful breath until you feel that the anxiety is no longer creeping on you. Feel free to practice this type of breathing anytime during your day. You don't have to feel anxious to do it. The more practice you will get with being in the moment, the less anxiety you will feel. Anxiety is often fueled by past and future thoughts. If you learn to live in the moment, you no longer ruminate about an experience or worry about the future. Mindfulness is a beautiful addition to treatments you are already receiving for your dealing with your anxiety. In addition to practicing the breathing technique, you can also practice being aware of your emotions and your sudden shift of states. The more you will know yourself, the easier it will be for you to master your anxiety and identify early signs of anxiety that can be stopped before it becomes harder to control. Be patient with yourself. Mindfulness can be difficult at first because we tend not to be self-aware. With time, patience, and compassion toward yourself, you will be a master at it. The top 3 things your negative emotions are trying to tell you. First, let's understand emotions. An emotion is a psychological reaction, lasting only 3 to 4 minutes maximum. It allows our body to respond in an adapted way to a stimulus from the environment. The body is put under tension, energetically mobilized to act or flee. Emotion has a bioregulatory function since the discharge of emotion allows the body to return to its fundamental equilibrium. If emotions are a purely psychological reaction, feelings are a mental construction. It is an emotional state of a psychological nature, even if a feeling can be an extension of emotion. For example, anxiety to fear, a disappointment to sadness. Feelings are what make us experience an emotion over and over again. When we can't let go of an emotion, it's because we connected with a mental activity that tends to relive the past or focus on the future. So this tutorial should be called 3 things your negative feelings are trying to tell you, and let's find out what these are. You need to focus on yourself. When you experience intense feelings, it means that there is something in you that is triggered. Instead of reacting to it, take some time to retreat to a calm space where you can be alone. Take a deep breath and try to observe the emotion. Ask yourself these 3 questions. 1. Where is the emotion located in my body? 2. What exactly does it feel like? 3. What things evoke this emotion in me? The purpose is to get to know the emotion, to experience it, and allow all the time that you need for that exercise. You must enable the space and time to experience it personally. You lack balance. When you experience many negative feelings, it might be a sign that you are off balance with your emotions. To bring back emotional balance, sit in a position where you feel comfortable. First, do a body scan. What sensations can you notice? Is your posture straight and relaxed? Then check your breathing. Is your breathing relaxed? Keep your awareness on your breathing for a few moments. Next, shift your awareness to the whole room, including yourself in the room. Be aware of the environment around you while keeping your eyes open. You become aware of all sensations without labeling them. Do not judge anything. Do not fixate on anything in particular. Just observe. In each of these steps, if your mind begins to wander in thoughts, notice it without judgment. Then gently return your awareness to the present moment, or of your breath. If you can relax in this observation state, come back to observing when you wander. Try it for a minute and see if you can let go. Become aware that you don't have to be involved in everything in your mind. You can operate in a way that it is almost like you're watching a movie or a play where you are an actor. You need to change your mindset. As you've experienced in the 2 previous exercises, your mind has a lot to do with how you feel. Changing your mindset to be more focused on the recognition of the positive aspects of your life will help you reduce the number of intense emotions that you experience. Refocus your mind on the qualities instead of the weaknesses. It will allow you to eliminate the negative feelings. Things that you need to give up to find emotional balance. Emotional balance is the ability to maintain a certain distance from our emotions without ignoring them. It is more about perspective than control. In some ways, people with emotional balance learn to be non-reactive when challenges or change is experienced in their life. When it comes to emotions, giving up is more important than holding on, in the sense that if you hold on to a feeling, you tend to make it worse and more dramatic than what it truly is. You have to learn to give up the need to control your emotions or fuel your feelings. Reflect on your life. In which area of your life do you mostly react emotionally? The answer could be with friends, at work, on social media, watching TV, etc. Once you've identified the area where you seem to be the most emotional, take the time to identify which emotions do you feel the most in that situation. It could be anger, frustration, irritation, jealousy, shock, etc. Now take the time to reflect on what good that emotion gives you. Your answer will likely be not much. Then ask yourself why you keep on recreating that situation and that emotional state. To find emotional balance, you need to accept that you have to give up certain aspects of your life that no longer feed fulfillment and just bring emotional imbalance to your state. The giving up part doesn't have to be drastic, like cutting all relationships with friends or leaving your work. By being mindful of certain aspects of your life where you nurture unhealthy emotional reactions, it helps you shift the way you react and increase your chance of taming your emotions when faced with the same situation. On the other side, if you did say that work was fueling your emotional imbalance, it might not hurt to reassess your work situation and maybe acknowledge that it's time for you to move on to a new job. Dishonesty with ourselves is often the biggest imbalance we live in. When we start living the life of others and forget about what we want all along, we become off balance. Giving up the lies that we tell ourselves is probably one of the biggest ways you can redirect your life to be more meaningful and happier. When you find emotional balance, it means that you've found peace within, and that no matter what life brings you, you are okay with that. If If you feel ready to explore your emotional balance deeper, open the door to reflect on the lies that you tell yourself. That process of giving up what no longer serves you is similar to the concept of surrendering. Surrender is not a weakness, but an acceptance that we've been swimming against the current for way too long, and that it's time to go with the flow and accept what we can't change. When you surrender, you set yourself free for experience and welcome all the good life can offer you. It's an aspect that many of us will resist our whole life. Maybe try for one day to give up the need to control your life and see where it leads you. You could be pleasantly surprised by how your day turns out. It might be something you want to do every day. Giving up the things that don't allow us to be happier is key to finding balance in our life.